Are the LA blacks really afraid of the LA Mexicans? Let's talk about it. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. I believe it was Friday. I'm almost sure it was Friday. I was watching a video by Compton Rick Rock, and he was reacting to an interview that Snoopy BadA did. I don't know which podcast it was, or else I would have went straight to the podcast, right? And in the podcast, Snoopy BadA says, and the interviewer says, "Hey, you said some real controversial stuff. You know, I don't know if you want to retouch on it." And he did. And Snoopy BadA said that all the blacks in LA are afraid of all the Mexicans in LA, right? And I get he was probably doing that for the reaction it would get. I don't know Snoopy BadA. I know a lot of people say a lot of things about him. But I will say that was not, I mean, maybe that's his truth. And I'm not trying to talk shit, but maybe that's how he feels, right? But I could tell you right now, no Mexicans are afraid of blacks, and no blacks are afraid of Mexicans. And I'm talking about street dudes, because he's talking about street dudes, right? Now, you have squares where they're not afraid. They're just not violent people. They don't solve their problems with violence, with weapons. That's just not what they do, right? So those people will be left out of it. I don't know anybody that's a street dude, that's a banger, whatever you want to call him, a gangster, that fears any other man, regardless of their ethnicity. Period. I feel like a video like that is very dangerous and counterproductive in this way. You could have someone, a young black man, who sees that video, who's in LA, who really feels like, oh, so I'm supposed to be scared of these Mexicans? Man, watch this. And he goes, maybe by himself, maybe with a group of other young black men, and they go hunting. And maybe they hit a Mexican. Maybe they hit a couple Mexicans. Maybe there's a shootout and people on both sides die. Why did that happen? Because a seed was planted and blossomed. And that seed that was planted was hatred. I don't know where, you know, and the thing is he makes a comment like that. He does an interview and says stuff like that. And instead of people in the comments bashing him, which there were some, it's always an opportunity for those who really hate Mexicans to talk bad about Mexicans. I get why the podcaster asked the question. It gets people talking. It gets people talking about that podcast. I know that Snoop didn't mean to come off in any way as being disrespectful to the raza. He's always, for the most part, shown love, right? But you shouldn't shit on your own people to show love to another. It should be equal-handed. I know for a fact Snoopy BadA has been around blacks that hate Mexicans. Zero fear. I know for a fact he's been around blacks that don't hate Mexicans and still have zero fear of them. You know, right now it seems like the world is upside down. A lot of things that 20 years ago, we would have never seen, would have never been viewed at as normal behavior. And I'm not just talking about in the streets. I'm talking about in society, period. Now things are looked at as like, that's just how it is now. I just finished watching the Compton Rick Rock video on Aunt Hefe and Whack 100. A Crip and a Pyru arguing online. And Compton Rick Rock said it, and we all know it. Those of us that are a certain age, we all know it. Like, Crips didn't speak on blood business or Pyru business. And the vice versa was true. Raza didn't speak on black business and blacks didn't speak on Mexicans' business. But this internet has everybody in everybody's business. And the unfortunate reason why is because when these dudes from these groups put their own business on the internet, then it becomes content for everybody. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care who you think you are. Once you get online, once you become a content creator, you are not a Crip no more. You are not a blood. You are not a Pyru. You definitely ain't a Sureño or a Norteño. You're a content creator. Because if you were that banger, then you'd be on the streets banging. You wouldn't be worried about clicks and views. You wouldn't be worried about what content you're going to come out with tomorrow. So I think we should just keep that in mind, man. When people speak like that, speak negatively about a group, whether it's their own or another, they're giving their opinion. Nobody on the internet, no content creator on social media, period, I don't care what platform, speaks for anyone but themselves. Whatever barrio, hood, whatever they grew up in, and if they did something for them, okay, cool. Once you got on camera and became a content creator, that shit went out the window. And hopefully people will keep that in mind, and we don't have people poisoned and thinking that they have to go and do something because some dude that's no longer in the streets said something that triggered an emotion that could lead them to a life sentence in jail or a life sentence in the dirt. I don't know. It's my video for the day, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.